We did it! 2,000 subscribers. I don't believe it. It's surreal to think that people actually like all the stuff I make, let alone 2,000 people. That's like this many people. In the grand scheme of things on YouTube, I guess it's basically nothing, but hey, I do like this little community we're growing. I want to say, and as always, thank you to everyone who tunes into my content on my channel. Whether that be my tutorials, my commentary news, map showcases, or even a bunch of you from Fall Guys as of late. And even to all of you who play all my maps, like the Dreamlands saga and more recently FALLPOCALYPSE. Thank you again to all of you. It means a lot to me. I can't preface that enough. The content I turn out won't really change, except for one thing: commentary videos. Okay, I originally went into this whole YouTube thing last November, and with that I originally set out the goal to upload every 3 days in the order of one tutorial slash something else, and then a commentary video. But as the months went on, I kind of didn't really enjoy it that much. I didn't want to be stuck on a schedule to make commentary videos, as you know, really every single one of them kind of divulges down to discovery equals bad, and I think it was getting a bit repetitive, so I'll be changing it up a bit. I'm going to be focusing on more long form, 20+ minute video essay, documentary style commentary videos. A good example of this would be this video right here where I talk about the entire story of Fortnite creative and everything. Those videos take a lot longer to make, but I think it's a lot more valuable and more fulfilling for me to make. But generally speaking, news videos will be the same. Like this video I uploaded a few days ago, I'll still be keeping you updated on everything, so that isn't changing. Plus everything else, so tutorials will be still coming out and map showcases will be still happening at the end of each month. Okay, but anyways, about a week ago I told you to give me some questions for a Q&A. You guys left a lot of good questions down below, so let's get to them. What's your best way to stay motivated on a project? Well, okay, in my opinion, you just really need to keep at it. No matter what your mind is saying, generally speaking, what you're making right now won't be what it's like when it's done. I've had that feeling plenty of times. When you don't feel as if you're liking what you're seeing, my advice is, instead of just giving up, try to spot all the things that are actually wrong with it. Ask yourself what you don't like, what's bothering you, and once you have all your issues, go and improve it all. After a lot of refinement through trial and error, you'll eventually make something you're really proud of, or something that even passes what you originally thought you were going to make. But again, if it's really not working out for you even after all that, and I mean it's really not working out, my advice is just to drop it and move on to something else that you do want to make. I actually had this feeling when I was making a Fall Guys map a few weeks ago. When I originally started making a Fall Guys map, I originally set out making this party mode for Fall Guys. But after a few hours of making it, I kind of lost motivation in it, because I had the feeling that there was going to be a ton of other Fall Guys party mode. I didn't really want to just make another Fall Guys party mode. So I scrapped it all and I moved on to something I did want to make. So I got my mind churning, and then that's what basically became FALLPOCALYPSE. That's also how I spent 5 years making Dreamlands. I enjoyed creating it. Not every second, but in the end, I was proud of what I made. So I guess to not lose motivation, do something you generally enjoy making, or do something that fulfills you. Anyways, next question. Would you ever make a video on how to make a mini BR map? Yes, sure, down the road I'll eventually probably make a tutorial over this. For now, there's a ton of tutorials out there that are already on how to make a mini VR, and plus a lot of my tutorials already apply to mini BRs too, so you can do that in the meantime. Okay, next question is there any way to move props locally? Like, say, if I have a character I only want to animate for one user, or a door that I only want to show as open for one user, how do I do that? Okay, in the cinematic sequence, there's an option for visibility. Set that to instigator, and whoever presses on a button or a trigger, the door will only open visually for them. For every single other player who doesn't press that trigger, the thing will be closed. Okay, next question. Possible to tilt your camera sideways on a trigger, so like a wall running tilt? Unless I'm wrong, I don't think there is a way to do this. Even if you use something like that orbit camera device, you can't twist it, so I don't think you can actually do a little sideways twist for a wall running, sadly. What was the best time to be a Fortnite creator for you? I mean, in my opinion, would be right now. I'm doing the best I've ever really have done. The tools in creative are the best. Sure, Discovery is not perfect, and the community has some bad eggs, but again, this is the best time to be a Fortnite creator, in my opinion. You could make the argument for early creative, as the community was, let's be honest, a lot better, and it was a lot more pure and less money driven, but the question is for you, as in me, or my opinion, and I think Creative 1.0 was really limited in what I specifically wanted to express creatively, and more modern features let me do that thousands of times better. People would disagree with me, I know, but I'd say in the grand scheme of things, early creative, as in 2018 and 2019 creative, was probably the best to be a creator. But for me, it's now. Okay, next up. You and other people talk about how exploitable Discovery is. So my question is, have you ever tried? If not, why not? Aside from ethics, is it really that easy? I know from an art standpoint, it doesn't make sense, but if you're experienced with creative and know you can make money from a map, why not? I think it would be cool to make a simple map that makes some money and allows you more time and freedom to work on more innovative ones. Love the channel, by the way. I've been following for a couple months now. Well, I don't really create for money. I just do it because I enjoy it. Now, if let's say I dropped all my morals and started creating Skip Toilet References Blues, I'd probably be able to pump out hundreds of them. But again, I don't. Really, as you said, the only reason why you would do that is for money. I don't really care about money as much as I would do the personal fulfillment of, you know, creating maps. If I were to pump out a few low-effort maps that rake in millions of dollars, even if it was to support my other map, it just wouldn't sit right on my conscience. If it doesn't bother you, by all means. But me, personally, I won't ever. And let's say one day, if I upload a video about how bad Discovery is, blah blah blah, and then let's say the next upload I upload is Red vs. Blue Howtwoboss edition, Skip Toilet, play now! It wouldn't sit right with me and a lot of people. I think it would just disappoint a lot of you and myself, and also feed into the cycle that is making the quality of Fortnite creative worse. Anyways, next up, I recently became a fan of Dreamlands due to its admittedly silly and hilarious story. I had tons of fun going all over the bafflingly insane lore with my friend. We meme it all the time, basically referring as every Jonesy skin as KREPLY. I do that too. Ever since I heard you were making more, I got super excited. Can you share any more information on the release date or anything? Or who is your favorite character in the Dreamlands story? Okay, Dreamlands 2 is not coming out for a while. 2025 release date, again, that's a probably. I don't really want to share anything about it right now as it's still very early in development and I don't want to make any promises, but what I can share is this. I'm currently doing a remake of Dreamlands Season 1. Now, it's not going to be extremely different, the story will be exactly the same, but I'll be redoing all of the locations, updating all the dialogue, maybe adding more stuff that ties into later seasons. Again, Season 1 of Dreamlands, I didn't really... If you've ever played Dreamlands, you know it's not the best, as I didn't change it as I wanted to preserve the original ideals of when I first made it. But I guess the issue with that is that there's not really, like, you know, a good alternative, and I don't want there to be like I don't want the first thing people to see in Dreamlands is like a terrible, like, look at this is what they see. So what I want to do is I want to remake Season 1 so it fits better with the whole like 4 seasons, so like, you know, it can get into it better. So this remake of Season 1 will be mostly on the same quality level as Season 4. It won't take a year to come out, maybe a month or two, depends on how long it takes. I also have the next 2 acts of FALLPOCALYPSE to finish too. Anyways, here's a little sneak peek of before and after. Keep you going until it's ready. Remember, that's not final or anything, but you know, it looks cool, right? Oh yeah, and also my favorite character is Joe Pepperoni, as Joe was actually the first character I made for Dreamlands, and I, you know, this little fun fact to throw it in. My friend who I originally made Dreamlands with, who quit after the first chapter, was who came up with KREPLY, alright? That's where KREPLY came from. The way it happened was they read the sign of Nepley's pawn shop as KREPLY with an EY. Later I shortened it down to KREPLY with just a Y. So yeah, that's how KREPLY got his name. And then the next question, is Dreamlands 2 going to continue with the first group or start a different group of characters? P.S. I haven't finished the first Dreamlands yet. Well, I can tell you this, whoever survives the end of Season 4 will be in Dreamlands 2. Plus some new characters and a new villain who is a mystery I can't reveal. Next up is... Hello, Howtwoboss. Hello. Next up is, do you do any collabs with other map creators? Not right now, but maybe down the road. I'm kind of like Batman. I prefer to make stuff by myself. Alright, next up, how to get started making Fortnite creative maps. I don't know how to start and how to learn right from the basics. You know, actually, I have a video on how to get started with Fortnite creative if you want to go watch that. But some general advice would be just to start right now. Thing is, after a while, you just kind of pick up everything as you go along. There really isn't any concrete guides to do everything, and it's a lot of trial and error. And you get your hands on, you get your hands dirty with stuff. That's probably the right way to learn this, is to getting your hands dirty. Okay, next up is, do you know when the physics device is coming? It's Q4 or later this year if it doesn't get delayed. Next up is, would you do any videos on verse coding? Well, I would if I knew any verse. You know, that's my Achilles heel, is verse. Maybe down the road when I start to actually wrap my head around it, but not right now anyways. Next up is there any course for learning advanced verse coding? I don't know any courses, but per se, but I know Maestro Shark has some good few tutorials, Warforged 2, and there's a ton of others out there. Next up is, did you make any maps in Fortnite yet? And are you an Unreal developer? Just curious to know. Yeah, I published a few maps. You can check them out on my career page. And I wasn't an Unreal developer before UEFN came out. I had some experiences with the engine, like really basic stuff, but my old laptop was so bad I could barely run it. So I never really had the chance to, like, you know, actually get my hands dirty before I got my new laptop, which was after when UEFN came out. I guess next up will it soon be possible to create custom vehicles? I'm not sure when, but I know there will be more official way to create custom vehicles soon, as modular vehicles will be coming to Scene Graph in the future. Right now, you need to use the combo of Verse and Niagara to pull it off. And then finally is, what's your favorite item in Fortnite Creative? My favorite item is probably the kinetic boomerang. I just like the way it feels, you know. Chapter 4, Season 3 was probably the worst season of Fortnite ever, but it had the only good thing out of it was the boomerang. Anyways, that does it for the Q&A. Next Q&A will probably be at like 5,000 subs or something, but anyways, thank you again for everybody who's subscribed as of late, and thank you to all of you who submitted any questions to the Q&A. So yeah, that's about it. Remember to like, subscribe, and use my code in the Fortnite item shop, and watch all of these videos for more of my content. That's about it. I'll see you at 5,000 subscribers.